Okay, let's start back over. 10:15 a.m., 3/3/2020, flyover state of West Virginia. Reporting from Robert Firestone, just passing on the news of what I can or what anybody can consider the news. The shit show and the Democratic Party. Let's see, you got 3 Democrats done stepped down. The faux fag, some woman. I don't really know who she even was, and another millionaire or billionaire, Tom Steyer. They all stepped down. Beto O'Rourke, Mr. Spanish White Smile, can't get no motherfucking water for him. Person O'Rourke come out there hollering, speaking Spanish for No Tuesday Biden. Thinks his Super Tuesday's a Thursday. I'm hoping to God, people, y'all start waking up. Forgive my congestion. I'm still smoking my damned old cigarettes. This makes my 4th one for today. I got up at 6. So it's this weird countdown situation. But anyway, that's enough about me and my old health. I'm going to fire this old cigarette up here so I can either cough or get my sinuses to stop up real good. I know that sounds crazy to most people. And I've looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. It's weird how heroin and cocaine is easier to kick than a cigarette. It statistically, but you know how statistics are. Supposedly, Tom Fenton's got Hillary by her gonads, and she got 75 days. The judge told her that she's going to have to come in and testify under oath, and Fenton will be able to give or take her testimony and ask her important questions about her so-called testimony. But the problem of it is, here's another prediction from me. I don't think she's going to show up. I look for Hillary to get real sick before the 75 days is up. And if she does show up, who's going to be answering the questions, her or lawyers? And how much are they going to try to claim that bullshit that we keep hearing? Oh, it's about security. It's about security. Security is for her not to be able to change the color of her panties from whatever she's wearing to orange. Okay, that's the security part. Biden. Okay, who's you got left in the race? Biden, Little Mike, Bernie, and Warner. Who's the pick of the 4? Well, the way it's looking for everybody out there in the Democratic Party, the ones that don't want to believe what's going on or don't have a clue, your individual is being picked for you. You're not having no damn say-so. So get over that fantasy. We only had one real voting in of a president in probably 80 years, and that was Trump. Trump won statistically by the numbers because he understood if he didn't, we wouldn't have the United States right now. Okay? And Biden, now here's the kicker. Here less than 2 or 3 days ago, there was an investigation opened up on his ass again through Ukraine. So how is he statistically going to run for president and be under investigation from another country? Somebody's bullshitting somebody, don't y'all think? Mini Mike the last four in line here, for some reason, it's going to be Biden, because nobody can trust Bernie. Bernie was out there on the tarmac trying to get on the wrong private jet because he had so many to pick from. But remember, he's broke, owns 4 homes that we know of, and his bank account is tied to his wife, but she's a multimillionaire. But Bernie's broke. Biden, he can't even tell you what office that he's actually trying to run for. That's already been shown and proven. Don't know if it's Thursday or Tuesday. Like I said, to get back to little mini Mike Bloomberg, like he done something. He's doing something. He's got shit to hide. Or he's just straight up a plant. Here's another prediction. Okay, now this is going to have to happen before the 75 days is up. If Hillary's going to be trying to shuffle her little waddly ass on up in there somewhere to be running with somebody like Biden, it's going to have to happen before the 75 days is up. The court has done handed down, my understanding, there even possibility, if she don't show up, there could be a bench warrant put out for her. Okay, being that the so-called rule of law works the way it has been working, I don't think a bench warrant is no different than a bottle of NyQuil. That's about it. Sitting on your table, it ain't effective unless you use it. But anyway, Warner, like I said before, she's got a lot of skeletons in her closet. It time to time pokes its head out and screams at her. She'd jump off a 10-story bridge into a ravine if she thought it would help her. That's how dumb and stupid she is. Okay, let's say these 4. Bernie, communist, period. The man keeps using the so-called education system over there in Cuba like that was a wonderful thing, but he keeps leaving out them 2 little letters known as re-education. That's what the fuck it was. That's what it is, period. About every Cuban American in the United States has done stood up and started flying Trump banners and told the national news, for the ones that could actually see it, certain areas of the United States, probably the local localities and stuff in these areas, got to see what was really going on with Bernie. These Cuban Americans told Bernie straight up, and told everybody else, if they think communism is a wonderful way of living and thinks that that's the way to go in the United States, they said, told them, so well, pack your bags and move on down there somewhere to Venezuela, Cuba, or one of these communist ass countries. Hell, pick China. There you go. There's a good one. They left these countries because they seen and felt the bullshit from it. Okay, we're talking about a big population of people just in Florida alone. Some of the best croissants I ever eaten in my life was out of a Cuban bakery. Delicious. When I was in Florida, I was also watching them use Cuban currency in these areas, in their grocery stores and other places. Now, anybody want to tell me how they was doing this? Now, this is 92, I think, or 93. How the hell was they using foreign money on United States soil? Seen it with my own eyes. But nobody wants to bring these things up. I went back and done a little study just a quick reference, because I keep blabbering about the Social Security and why that our government wants to holler that it's going broke. And statistically, use an age group from 18 to 45. Okay. Statistically, between 18 and 45, from 18 back down to infancy, I didn't handle, and anything from 45 up, I didn't handle. Okay. In 2 years, period. Okay. And I looked at it under one, just natural death. Anybody can do this. Y'all want to break it down, you get you a pencil and a big pad, start writing down the ages and all the things you can think of on how people can die, because there's only one way to be born. But anyway, just in this 1 year alone, under natural causes, okay, I didn't even go into detail on what the natural causes was. There was a little over 68,000 people died, okay, a rough estimate too. It wasn't somehow or another they can't tally real numbers from death certificates. That's got me baffled too. So was it more or was it less? I'd say more. Okay, 68,000 people in a year of age group 18 to 45. That ain't counting infancy to up to 18 or 45 on up to say 75 or 80. I'd say the statistics gets bigger as you get older. Okay, because then you got health factors involved in this shit, as well as from 18 up to a certain age, you got stupidity with fast cars, fast motorcycles, but they used a natural death clause. And this was Google. I used the brand name Google. Just the statistics, like I said, didn't have a correct number. This was estimated. 68,000 people in a year. Okay. And it wouldn't even tell you in the same time frame on how many people was born or how to, maybe I wasn't doing the math right or wasn't calculating something correctly. But it wouldn't even show you how many people was actually living beyond this point from 18 to 45 and how many people was projected to collect Social Security. So these numbers are being left out purposely, y'all. I'm sure there's a way, and I'm not looking at it. There's probably other ways of digging and finding out. Okay. Any of y'all out there maybe have in college or even high school, high level math, to go and find out how to take these statistics and see for yourself. An average, okay, and I'm under the average. The average here in West Virginia is supposed to be somewhere around $1,400-$1,500 a month. I'm making 12, okay. That's all I make, $1,200 a month. I was making $1,200 a weekend when I was plumbing, and that wasn't me killing myself. That was going and setting out a bathroom or maybe even piping a house for hot and cold water. It wasn't no hard work. I mean, it was quick, and setting out the bathrooms, you had to be a little bit more particular because you was looking at a finished product. You're caulking and making sure that things was correct. If the grout man hadn't got in there, you had to make sure all your fixtures was taped up, plastic bagged, so that nobody could get junk on your fixtures. But anyway, I figured I'd get on here and talk about that for a minute. The coronavirus. Okay, China. You got Apple stores and manufacturing open back up. Now, this has been 3-4 days ago they was talking about this. Starbucks opening back up. Okay. You got this kind of stuff going on, and this coronavirus is supposed to be, oh my God, the worst thing since the Black Plague. Okay, and people understand what how the Black Plague was and what it was caused from. No, we all got toilets now, and we all understand if you see too much of a rodent population, you know how to kill them, get rid of them. Okay. Now, I spoke of the movie Resident Evil. Okay, the coronavirus, the T cell. Dean Koontz's book talks about the coronavirus and the Hunan province, and the coronavirus in his book now. Okay, we're talking about upper 80s, I think. A little lady in Colorado, Marge. Somebody sent her a screenshot. I think it was 89 or 98. The Simpsons had the coronavirus on their cartoon. Now, here's 3 things to show people how they screw us, how they manipulate us, and let us know what their plans are. Okay. There's so much info out here flying in different directions, it's hard to keep up with. Okay. Now, yesterday, accidentally again now, they've cured diabetes. They've cured heart disease or cancer, 4 or 5 different types of cancer, or probably all of it, period, by using a cell that's in our body. Okay. It's like if I took this right here, knife, and I cut yon finger, okay, it heals. I've been knowing this for almost 20 years, okay, or anybody else that's got any kind of common sense understands this. I'm making another prediction on this one. And if there's anybody ever sees this video that's got the ability to go forth and see for themselves, okay, and don't believe in your so-called scientific values studies and your books and your teachers and your so-called smarter than you are, okay, people that teaches you, have an understanding that these bodies, these meat suits that we walk around in, even our own good book has done told us, the blood is the life. These hints has been here forever, okay. Our scientists throughout the world and the people that control them, the money, the banks, they've been knowing this too, and they also know that about 90% of our health and welfare, okay, is very fixable. They can fix it. People with lung problems, people with heart problems, people with kidney problems, people with any kind of problems can be fixed by taking a pint of blood out of our body, enhancing it, depending on what our problem is, or maybe do a whole body enhancement of your own blood, okay? You take it out, they increase these antibodies, they increase these T cells, they increase these things that we lose as we age, okay, like our wrinkles and skin, and there's multitudes of things. Flus, colds, they'd go completely fuck away. There wouldn't be no need to go to a doctor other than, say, your baby comes down with a sickness or an illness. Once all this takes place, where did this baby come up with this sickness or this illness? People's also going to be finding out that, like I said before, if you go back and you study, okay, and this will take an individual to study for themselves, to see it for themselves, because you can't buy into half of the research that's been laid down in front of you throughout the histories. because they've had so many reasons to hide the actual real evidence of things. People laugh at me, oh, you're a conspiracy. No, it's not a fucking conspiracy no more. These things that everybody wanted to harp on and say was conspiracy this, conspiracy that, y'all better get that out of your mind. The word conspiracy theory comes from a department known as the CIA. That's where that word was keyed and termed from. Okay? And if you're a believer in the CIA, y'all keep believing y'all's bullshit. Okay. Once this happens, there won't be nothing under the sun that man wouldn't be able to fix for any of us if they agree to get out of their mind and their ass. That's what it boils down to. Or whoever is paying their funding. Okay? If they would turn it into a thing to help everybody as a benefit, instead of them just benefiting because of the money, the resource, the pills, the promises of bullshit that's never going to be a cure. And that's what it is. They don't want to cure us. So, right along with natural causes, that's what they claim. Like I said, the cancer cell. You go back to as far as King Tut. I've watched show after 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 show. And they've done DNA study on this so-called king. The biggest thing they could ever find in this king, and they said there was a little bit of infection probably from his teeth, but there was all kinds of herbs and minerals and a whole lot of cocaine and heroin in this boy king, right along with the rest of the so-called kings and queens of Egypt and all over the world. Opium, heroin, poppy, cocaine, blah, 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 blah. Now, they've done all this DNA research on all these kings and queens and dead people from the past. You know, I've yet to hear any of them ever say that they ever found cancer. Remember, we have it in us. If this is the case, they can say mutation all they want. That's just a fancy word of saying, fuck you, we're not going to tell you the truth. That's what it is. That's just my opinion of it. And it's also, like I said, I'm not no prophet, and I'm making predictions on these things. But I do believe, like I said, 20 years ago when I had that aha moment, like I said, I've known things in my life, but still yet today, I know things without knowing why I know them. Here in the last 3 to 5 years, it's been things about electricity and how it actually works, and to think of some things, and all of a sudden, bam, it's just like a light goes off. And I got a book that I write these things down in now. Okay, because when I get out of here, off of this property, we're hoping for a little bit bigger property, but a little bit further out. I'm going to go doing a lot of experimenting, because one thing, Thomas Edison comes up with this thing called a ground battery. For the people that don't understand what a ground battery is, it's a device with two rods. One was carbon and steel, and the other, I think, is copper. Then they're lined, or they're wired together. Okay. Now the reason this was about was because of the telegraph, so they could send signal down a line. Okay. There was individuals that was 5 miles away when they would flip these switches and start trying to send signals. Some of these people was getting blowed off power poles. They're estimating somewhere around 50,000 volts of DC power, 5 miles away. getting killed. Okay, one battery, so much power line, drop back down into another battery, go back up to the power lines, go on down, and it kept looping together. Well, every time it done this, it multiplied. Okay, now it's hard to find any kind of evidence of this ground battery from Thomas Edison. It's there. I know of a few resources that I can go to, and I took some drawings, also printed out some papers just to have it, because I also know that there's electricity in the air, okay, that could be gathered if gathered in the right way to make power. Okay, just think you build something at your house that would bring in enough power, say 24 volt DC, to run an inverter, say a 10,000 watt inverter from DC to AC. You no longer need AEP, people. Then the other fellow that I was following, now it's almost like he disappeared. His last trip was to go to China. He was trying to have a computer situation created. He had created a generator about as round as a paint can, about a little bit longer than a paint can, okay? This generator would run your whole damn house, okay? And it was powered by the air. Once it was started, as long as you didn't stop it, he had a 25-year shelf life on it where it would run for 25 years nonstop, okay? Just think about people that's paying excessive power bills every month. How much money they could put in their pocket or put back enough parts to where there could be 4 or 5 generations in that household never have to pay for power. I said it almost 10 years ago. I was watching to see how many people was going off grid, okay? The numbers is almost quadrupled compared to what it started off at. I understood, then I started watching AEP sending these little things in the fucking mail to us, okay, trying to get us to take out extra insurance on their part of the deal that we pay for, okay? They want us to pay for the outside wire and power, okay, as long as as well as what we got going on inside. I understand what's going on. They're losing their ass because more and more people's waking up to the facts. Solar, it's more than started off 10 years ago, somewhere around 55-60% efficient. Now it's done gained almost 70-80% efficient, depend on what kind of system you put in and what kind of batteries. Batteries have gotten better and better and better. But if you are able to do the same thing from the ground, and people can go look this up, ground batteries on YouTube, and watch people string wires down their damn yards and click DC light bulbs onto that wire, and the lights come on. Not hooked to their house, not hooked to nowhere else, but grounded in the ground. Because we have current going through us, so does the ground in this earth. Okay? Thomas Edison was smart enough to know this. Okay? Being the father of DC. Okay? Tesla comes along. Tesla also understood that there was the same kind of energy being created above our head in the air. Father of AC. Okay? I know that was a lie about 10 years ago when they kept trying to say that they was two mortal enemies. No, they was separated because of the rich barons wanting the meter shit. Okay? When they started making AC DC inverters and DC AC inverters, that's both fathers in one box. Okay? You go back and you do the research on when the earliest ones was, okay? And y'all can see where they've lied to everybody. Just go look for yourself. I'm going to get off here, y'all. I said the coronavirus, it has been shown to be no more than basically not even a souped up influenza flu. People's even talking about it on national news that it was almost like they didn't even know they had any kind of illness. That's how influential it was in their lives. They felt a little wore out. They said felt like they didn't get no sleep, but they didn't feel like they had no full blown flu, especially when they're hyping coronavirus to be some kind of be all end all plague. Bullshit. Um, it helped Trump move some things forward because the stupidity of the deep state is they keep trying to defeat somebody that they can't defeat. And they can't understand why they can't defeat him because he's got something on his side that they've gave up a long time ago. That's God. Whether anybody wants to see it or not, that's up to y'all. I ain't here to try to persuade you, but when you see somebody like Trump, that no matter what he comes up against as opposition, they can't defeat him in anything that he's doing. Yes, he's got some help, but when you can't defeat an individual like that, you're stupid for keep trying. Albert Einstein says if you try an experiment or anything at least 3 times and still keep coming out with the same outcome, expecting something different, um, that's the definition of insanity. So now, do you see the deep state and the Democrats, the tag that they done got put on their head? They're not up here right. They're mentally not right. Peace to all y'all. I didn't mean to take it this long, but you see my new T-shirt you sent me, and this ain't 666. This is just okay.